Welcome. In front of me I have a DOOGEE V Max, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone. So, jumping straight into it, let's pop it straight open. Now the box here is just absolutely enormous, so you can see that this is a brick. It's making my table shake also. So yeah, we have some stuff in here. Let's rip that apart. No seals to cut, so there we go. Right off the bat, obviously the device. Whoa! Okay. What the heck is this? Oh, okay, that explains the battery in here. Jesus. Anyway. I'm gonna, for now, move away from the device, which just looks ridiculous, let's be honest, and touch upon the accessories. So we do have a screen protector right here. I assume there's already one applied to the device. This is a substitute if that one gets damaged. We got some warranty cards. We got screen protector cleaner. Okay. Plastic didn't need to be wasted for that one, but I digress. We get some user manual and whatever. Then we got a charger. This is actually a decent charger, 33 watts, which is faster than what Samsung provides in the box. And then a Type-C to Type-C charging cable, because the charger actually is Type-C, surprisingly. Whoops. There we go. A little bit more plastic wasted right here as well. I guess they're not eco-friendly. So, let's move over to this behemoth of a device. God damn, this is a chungus. Oh, oh my god. Let's peel this off. There we go. Gee, I thought my device is big, but compared to this, woo. How the heck do you even fit this in a pocket? I think you need a backpack for this one, or a travel suitcase. So yeah, now let's touch upon the specs of this device, because that will be probably what matters right here. So, the display right here is a 6.58-inch display with a resolution of 1080 by 2408. So it is basically what you would expect from majority of the devices, even like high-end ones. It's also running, surprisingly, at 120 Hz refresh rate, so you're getting this nice silky smooth animations like when you're scrolling up and down. And we have 401 pixels per inch, just because we do have that higher resolution display at 1080p. And in terms of screen to body ratio, it's 70%. Now, I'm not exactly sure how they're counting screen to body ratio. The percentage wise, like around, seems a little bit higher than 70%. I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably put it like closer to 80. But if we just flip it to the side, if we just consider the screen itself to the body entirety of it, then yeah, probably that would be accurate. But I don't think that's how it's supposed to be counted. Anyway, moving on. We do have Android 12 right here, so almost the newest Android that you can get. And this device and all of it is being powered by a Dimensity 1080 processor with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage on a UFS 3.1 storage type. So honestly, most of these specs are pretty freaking good. Can't really complain right here, especially for the price, which I should probably start off with. This device comes at about $340. Apparently in pounds it's about 460. That's a bit of a price discrepancy right here. And in rupees about 5,100. No, not 100, 51,000, my bad. So yeah. And in terms of probably the big elephant in the room, all this stuff is being powered by a 22,000 hour battery, or milliamps. That's why this device is such a unit. Now, needless to say, you can most likely use this device as a power bank. Obviously, most devices do have power delivery options, but most of the devices cap at like 5K battery life. Here we have 22,000. I have a power brick, which actually is bigger than this. That does, I think, 28,000 milliamps. So it's significantly bigger than the device, yet provides a little bit less or a little bit more battery. But that one is strictly used to basically just charge other devices. Unlike this, which is a phone and it's to start off with, and a brick as a secondary kind of defining aspect of it. So let's move over to the cameras. So at the front, we have a 32 megapixel f1.8 wide sensor, and you can actually shoot at 1440p with it or 1080p. Now, it doesn't really say what frame rate, so I will just go to the default one, which is a 60 frames or 30 probably. Now, at the back, we actually also have a surprisingly high pixel count for cameras. So the main one is 108 megapixel wide sensor f1.8. Then we got a 20 megapixel night vision f1.8 infrared night vision lights. So I assume these 4 dots will be the infrared lights, because for night vision, what it does is basically just shines infrared light, which infrared light, if you don't know, is not visible to your eye, meaning you can blast full brightness an environment with infrared light to you. The environment will look completely dark, but to a phone camera on the other hand side, which can see it, this environment will look fully lit up. So that's kind of the way I was looking at these for the infrared sensors. So these kind of look like flashes, but obviously I am probably wrong. Anyway, then apart from the night vision, we also have a 16 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide lens with a apparently 130 degree field of view. And with those cameras, you can record at 4K 30 frames and 1080p 30 frames. That's a little bit disappointing. And it's basically all the worth mentioning specs right here. Now, a couple things to add into it. We do have a fingerprint sensor on the side right here. We have our little charging port, which will most certainly double as a power delivery unit option as well. We have a SIM tray and SD tray right here. So, there we go. So yeah, SIM and SD card support right here. Let's put that back in. And that's about everything that we have right here. We have some side firing speakers at the top and the bottom, so I assume this device actually could perform pretty well in terms of like how loud it is and how clear the sound is. Obviously, this device has enough body unit right here to provide you with pretty good sounding device, but I'm gonna quickly go through the setup just so I can see if that will be the case. So I just quickly skip through all of this. Damn, this phone is just not the best thing to hold in your hand, if you could imagine having such a unit in your device. So let's first connect to Wi-Fi. That would be nice if it finds the 5G version of it. Or, come on. Does this device not support Wi-Fi 5? Come on, 5 gigahertz? There we go. Okay. Okay, so connected. Let's open up YouTube to see how well this actually sounds. Am I blind? Where's YouTube? Oh, there we go. I am blind. Okay. So obviously, let's go for the crab rave. gonna get commercial most likely. Yes, there we go. Without that missing a beat right here. I'm gonna skip through a little bit. Okay, so needless to say, the device gets pretty loud. I don't even want to go a little bit louder than this, but at a little bit past halfway, the sound starts to distort. So even though the device has an absolute insane size, they didn't really use that size all too well for the quality of like the speakers that we have in here. And just to kind of prove the point, I'm gonna give you a non-fair comparison whatsoever. Because we're comparing two differently priced devices, like insanely, vastly different prices. And I'm gonna do it on my device, so if I could only type correctly, that would be fantastic, but it doesn't matter. So this is a Fold 4. Like I said, not a fair comparison, but just to compare it in terms of size, this device has a much bigger volume to deal with, which would make it significantly simpler to give you a better sound. This phone needs to deal with a relatively thin device when it's unfolded, obviously. Oops. So just as a little comparison, obviously that phone had a much better sound quality in terms of just bass, clarity, loudness. This one will win without a doubt, but in terms of like everything else and enjoying listening to music on your device without a speaker, yeah, that one will win. And like I said, it's not a way to tell you, oh, go get that one. It's absolutely insane of a suggestion comparing the prices. So what I'm just saying is that the phone, for the size that it has to deal with, it's misusing that space with the speakers, which could have sounded just literally like a portable speaker. It has the battery size, it has the size in it itself, and you just kind of misused it in that aspect. But anyway, it was just a little bit of a sound kind of test. I was just curious about this one. Anything or everything else about this device is a pretty decent phone. Now, if you're looking for one that actually lasts long, I don't have any kind of like info how long the battery here lasts, but let's be honest, it's 22,000 milliamps. That is insane. So yeah, the battery here should be the last of your concerns. Now, even with the 33-watt charger, you probably will be charging this device for the entire night after like a month of using it without charging it. So keep that in mind. And obviously, biggest probably problem for people, or just like a, I don't know how to call it, but yeah, the size of this device will make it not usable for a lot of people, just because it's kind of hard to pocket such a absolute brick. This is a device that you will most likely take on a trip, field trip, or just like go camping, hiking, whatever the heck, and you can drop it. Most likely it will survive. Obviously it's a rugged device, as you can see from the build of it. And on top of that, it has the battery to back it up, so you don't need to take an external like power bank to charge this up. It's a power bank in itself, so you can charge other devices from it. So there we go. Now, with this being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.